Hey guys, it's Jason with Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a cool little dice drafting tower building game called the Towers of Arkhanos. The Towers of Arkhanos is a 2 to 4 player game where players are competing wizards trying to magically build these towers through any means necessary, also by drafting dice. So players are going to take turns drafting dice. They're going to have these little tiles are going to have certain criteria that you need to meet in order to place a die. When you play a die, you're going to also place one of your wizards, and it's going to give you either points or a special ability. That's pretty much the game, but let's go down to the table and see how it plays. Alright, so here is a game of Towers of Arkhanos, or Arkhanos. I'm not actually sure how you say the word, but the Towers of Arkhanos, that's how I'm going to say it. Set up for 2 players. The only difference in setup for 2 players is each player is going to take 2 turns in a round, and we're only going to play 8 instead of 9. So let me explain setup. You're going to look for the 4 tiles that have the pink squares. Those are the pillars. You want the pink pillars. You're going to flip 3 of them to the floor side and 1 of them in the center to the ceiling side. You're going to give each player a spell book, which is going to look like this. It's going to give you places to put meeples, and it's going to give you special abilities, and it's going to have your player color. You're going to get 7 apprentices, and you're going to have a master, which is the dude wearing clothes. I think this is just a prototype, so I think he's going to look more like a wizard later. Green player has the same. And you're going to have the mana pool here, which is going to track rounds, and it's going to show scoring for the outside rooms and the central rooms. I'll go into that when I score some. And there's going to be some point tokens of 1, 3, and 5, and a stack of the extra tiles on the A side. This is A side. The roof or ceiling is the B side. Alright, so let's explain how the round goes. So on the first player's turn, they're going to draw 5 tiles, 5 dice out of the bag for a 2 or 4 player game. It's different for 3, but for a 2 player game, you're going to draw 5. You're going to roll them. And then you're going to draft, and you're going to place a die on a pillar. So let's look at some of the criteria. So this pillar wants pink dice with a value of 1 or 2. And when you play a die, you're going to also place a meeple, and you're going to get 2 points if you place a die here. You're going to get the points based on the level of the tower. So right now everything will be 1. And over here, you're going to get to put a meeple either on another tower, which is risky, or you can put it on your spell book to have access to one of these special powers in a future turn. So looking at what we rolled here, we have a purple. So let's just go ahead and roll with this one, because this one needs purples that are all different values. So we'll go here, we'll put the 6. I'd like to grab 2 points. So red's first, so they'll go ahead and put one of their meeples right there. Then it'll be green player's turn, and they are going to, let's see. This one needs white dice with value of 1, 3, or 5. You can have 3 5s on there, whatever. It just has to meet one of those criteria. So we have a white die with a 5. So they're going to come over here, and they actually want to start working on their spell book. So they're going to come here with their master. And I'll explain what that does during scoring. And then they're going to assign one of their apprentices to the board, and they're actually going to do 4. So what 4 does, it's going to let you act like a die is a different color, because for some of these restrictions you need to have certain colors. So that's going to give them an extra turn where they're going to have some freedom to play dice that they wouldn't normally be able to play. So my turn again. I'm going to actually play this 1 pink, because this one needs 1 or 2 pinks. I want to start working on my spells too. So let's go here, and then I'm going to take the 4 as well. It's a pretty good one. I like it. And then it'll be green player's turn again. And there's nothing that they have that meets criteria right now. So the center, you can play whatever you want. No color restrictions. No bonuses either, except you're allowed to take one of the meeples onto your spell board of that number. So let's say the green does the 4. So they'll go here with the pink. And they would be able to use the 4, but they already had the 4 covered up, so they're not doing anything. And then the last die is going to go down here, track the round. Then it'll be green player's turn. They're going to take 5 dice again. Well, for the first time, because red rolled in the first time. All right, so green sees this 2 purple, so they're going to start working on the purple tile. They will go here. They want to score some points, so they're going to score points based on the level that this is, so they will score 1 point. Okay. And they'll put a guy, and I forgot to award red their 2 points, so let's give them their 2 points. All right, and then it'll be red's turn. Red's going to come down here. They're going to get 2 more points, and they're going to bring their master down here since they have their master. Again, we'll explain what the masters do here shortly. And then it'll be green player's turn again, and they're going to use this special. They're going to pretend it's going to make any die any other color. So they're going to use this 3. They're going to pretend like it's a 3 white, and they're going to go here with their guy, and they're going to get 1 point because it's 1 floor. All right, now what happens here is now we're going to score a tower. Whenever a tower is full, all 3 pillars are covered, even with dice or meeples, we will score it. So the way scoring works is you're going to count up the influence. The masters count as 2 for the area majority. So that's why when he played this down, red also played his down. So green has 3 because this is 2 and 1, and red has 2. So when you look at the scoring for the outer tiles, which is this side, whoever has the most gets 6. Whoever has the second most gets 4, and if there's a tie, everyone gets 3. So in this case, green had the most, so they're going to get 6 points. Red had the second most, so they're going to get 4. And then you're going to take all your meeples back, which I already did, and you're going to take a new tile, and you're going to put it on top, and you're going to start working on the second floor. And then it's to red's turn. Let's see. They have that as well, so they're going to do that too. They're going to make this a purple. They're going to go here with their regular apprentice, and that's also going to let them send an apprentice somewhere else. So they're going to send it over to this 3, which is going to let them flip a die on a future turn. So now this one scores. Red has 2, green has 1, so red still outer. So red's going to get the 6 points. Green will get 4. Everyone's going to take their meeples back. Oh, not that one. Then we'll get a new tile. And then that'll be into that round. All right, so on this spot that says you can assign a meeple to another tower or your spell book. Say this is what panned out. So say red went there. Let me get 2 dice out and I'll show you. Somebody used a spell to make this a 1 white. And then this one is a 2 white with red. All right, so this tower would score. It's still going to score like normal. So red has 2, so they would get the 6 points. Then I'm going to show you what happens here. Green, oh, wrong one. So green is going to get 4 points. And then, if there's a meeple with a die, you get that meeple back. If there's not a die there, the meeple's there for the rest of the game. So then we would take this like this, cover that up, and that person, red, is down a meeple for the rest of the game. So you definitely want to make sure that your master is not one of the meeples that you send out without a die, because then you'll be without it forever, and that is no good. You're going to play through like this until this gets full up. If you have, at the end of the game, if you have meeples that are left that on buildings that haven't scored, they're going to be worth a certain amount of points based on whoever has the most influence. And then you're going to add up your points, and whoever has the most points is the winner. That is how you play Towers of Arkhanos. Let's go up to the top and see what we think about it. All right, so that was the Tower of Arkhanos. This, I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised by this. I'm not a huge fan of Sagrada, which is all the rage of dice drafting games, and this one has some similarities. You're going to roll dice, you're going to draft dice, you're going to place them on the board. There's going to be one left to track the rounds. But in this one, you're also sending a meeple out. You're going to score points based on where you put it. You might assign another meeple to another tower. You're trying to have a little bit of area majority. I just feel like there's a little more game here. and I really, really enjoyed it. It's light. It's a family game. There's nothing heady and like super like heavy here. It's a really easy to play, easy to learn, straightforward dice drafting game that is a lot of fun. I like the dice. They're nice quality. They're just translucent dice. 4 different colors, I believe. These tiles have really good artwork. You can take a look at that there. That's the front. And this is the back of like every tile is going to have just the ceiling. The box cover, the art is beautiful here. I like it a lot. I can't say enough about this game. I have a prototype, and this game is amazing. So if it gets even better components than this is going to be a winner. So if you're a fan of dice drafting, you're a fan of Sagrada, you're a fan of rolling dice, drafting some dice, this is definitely a game you should check out. And because of that, I'm going to give this a BGM accepted rating. So I dig it. I think if you guys played it and you're a fan of light family games with a little bit of thinkiness, then this game is for you. This game's on Kickstarter still for about 3 days as of the posting of this video. I believe it's already funded, but you can never have too much funding, right? So if you're interested, go check it out. Give them some support. And again, that is Towers of Arkhanos. If you enjoyed this review, check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/boardgamemechanics. There'll be videos from me, Joel, Katie, and Kim there. We also have a Facebook page at facebook.com/theboardgamemechanics. We have an audio podcast that just dropped episode 40. And you can find that at bgmechanics.com. Sometimes you might need to put the www. It's a little finicky. And we're also on Twitter at bgmex and Instagram at boardgamemechanics. And I'm Jason. This has been another review, and the game is Towers of Arkhanos. Keep gaming.